Dear student, I am Sarfaraz Alam, Assistant Professor in School of Computer Application, Babu Banarsi Das University. This is the lecture number 4 of Module 3 on Software Engineering. In this lecture, I will cover the following topics, which are unit testing, integration testing and types, system testing and types, and performance testing and its type.
So it is usually done by the programmer who write the codes, and test cases for unit testing are selected based on code specifications, experience, etc. So multiple test cases can be created per unit, for example one per equivalence class. So each and every uh, so the test cases is generated for each and every class. So a collection of closely related unit test is called a test suite. So in the unit testing, the following contents are contains like unit test for all members of a class, unit test for all functions in a module, and unit test for all functions related to specific activity. So a test suite may be organized into a hierarchy. The complete test suite may contain some top level test suite, and the top level test suite there may be some smaller test suites for subsystems. So test suite for modules can be arranged at the lowest level. So the test hierarchy of an object-oriented system will contain like unit tests for each and every methods, and suites for unit tests that covers all the classes. So test suite for class test suite that covers subsystem, for example libraries and components of the software, and test suite for component tests that cover the entire system. So the next topic is the integration testing. So the integration testing is the second level of the software testing process, comes after the unit testing. So we know that in the unit testing the individual modules are tested in isolation, uh, the, but in this testing units or individual components of the software are tested in a group. The focus of integration testing level is to expose defects at the time of interaction between integrated components or units. So basically it is also necessary the whole modules check, or we can say that the check whether the modules when integrated together as a system are able to function as required or not. So the software application consists of different modules, and the modules interact with each other by passing parameters, or one module may invoke another module. So the key idea of integration testing is to test the module interface through which the interaction take place. So unit testing uses modules for testing purpose, and these modules are combined and tested in integration testing. The software is developed with the number of software modules that coded by the different coders or programmers. The goal of integration testing is to check the correctness of communication among all the modules. So testing is done to check there are no errors in the parameters passing. So in object oriented testing, as objects are designed by their interface, the various interface types that need to be tested, like parameter interfaces, shared memory interfaces, and procedural interfaces, message passing interfaces. So during the integration testing, different modules of a system are integrated in a planned manner using an integration plan. So the integration plan specifies the steps and the other in which modules are combined to realize the full system. Thus, the integration test plan is driven by the build up plan of the system architecture. So, there are different types of integration testing, or we can say that the different methodologies of the integration testings, like Big Bang integration testing, incremental integration testing, bottom up integration testing, top down integration testing, sandwich testing, backbone integration testing, thread integration testing. So first is the Big Bang integration testing. Basically, it is one of the common integration testing approach. In this approach, all the modules making up a system are integrated in a single step. That is, all the modules of a system are simply put together and tested. However, this testing is practicable only for very small type of a system. So the main problem with this approach is that once an error is found, it is difficult to localize the error. So this is because the error may potentially belong to any of the modules being integrated. Thus, debugging of error found by Big Bang integration testing is very costly. Second is incremental testing method approach. So in this testing, the tests are done in incremental step. After each integration step, the partially integrated system is tested. First module, suppose a module firstly modules A and B may be integrated and tested by test sequence 1, and the next test one more module C may be added and tested by creating the test sequence 2. Similarly, more modules may be integrated in steps, and test sequence 3 can be generated by including some more test cases for the testing the entire system. So we will use the integration in incremental form in the incremental integration testing. And next is the bottom up testing integration testing. In a bottom up testing, each subsystem is tested separately, and then the subsystem are integrated and tested as a whole. A subsystem might consist of many modules that communicate among themselves uh, through well-defined interfaces. The test cases are devised to use the interfaces in all the possible manner. So large software system may normally require testing of the subsystem to be done at several levels. After testing at one level is completed successfully, so the lower level subsystem are combined to form a higher level subsystem. For example, suppose the software where main module A is decomposed into module B and C and D, and module C is further decomposed into module E, F and G. So the bottom up testing is done by starting from the lowest level modules and then proceeding to higher level modules. Here test driver is first generated to integrate the lowest level models E, F, G, and the return values generated by one modules are used in other modules. In some way, a test driver mimic expected behavior of module C is integrated module C is to integrate module E, F, and G. After testing, the driver is replaced by actual module C. So a new test driver is used to integrate more modules like B, D, and so on. So the main advantage of bottom-up integration testing is that several disjoint subsystems can be tested simultaneously. In a pure bottom-up testing, no stub are required. Only test drivers are required. A disadvantage of bottom-up testing is the complexity that occurs when the system is made up of large number of small subsystems. And the next approach of integration testing is top-down integration testing. The top-down integration testing starts with the main routine and one or more subroutine or subordinate routines in the system. It requires the use of program stubs to simulate the effect of lower level routines. Suppose a module A and B are integrated using stub C and D, and then stub D is replaced by its actual instance of D. The stub C is replaced by the actual module C and the new stub E, F, and G. So in a pure top-down integration, there are no driver routines are required. The major advantage of this method is that there is a strong psychological boost when major modules are done. The disadvantage of top-down integration testing approach is that in the absence of lower level routines, it may become difficult to subject the top level routines to all desired conditions for testing. And next is the sandwich testing. A sandwich integration testing follows a combination of top-down and bottom-up testing approaches. In the top-down approach, testing can start only after the top-level modules have been coded and unit tested. However, in sandwich testing approach, a system is integrated using a mix of top-down and bottom-up and Big Bang approach. Here, a hierarchical system is viewed as consisting of 3 layers. The bottom-up approach is applied to integrate the modules in a bottom layer, and top layer modules are integrated by using top-down approach, and the middle layer is integrated by using Big Bang approach. After the top-down and bottom-up layer or top-up and bottom layers have been integrated, in fact, in this mixed approach, testing can start when modules become available. Therefore, this is one of the most commonly used integration testing approach. And the next is the backbone integration testing. This is almost same as the sandwich integration testing. The only exception is that here the backbone or the kernel modules of a system are tested as Big Bang together using the bottom-up testing approach. Then a system controls the tested using the top-down approach. The backbone has been included until the backbone has been included. This testing is mainly used to verify interoperability among tightly coupled subsystems in embedded system applications. And the next is the thread testing, integration testing. A thread is a position of several modules that together provide user visible program features. In this type of testing, the entire system is tested by integrating one thread with another. It is more useful for object-oriented system and can be used in object-oriented integration testing. A thread integrates classes required to respond to one input or event. The thread integration testing starts with single event thread and then go on to multiple event threads. So the next is the system testing. A system testing is a testing of whole system based on its specifications. It is a comprehensive testing and verification of the system against the requirement specification. So there are three major types of system testing. These are alpha testing, beta testing, and acceptance testing. So first is the alpha testing. Basically, it refers to the system testing carried out by the test team within the developing organization. So whole system is tested by a testing team within the organization in the are tested in the alpha testing. But in the beta testing, it is the system testing performed by a select group of users. The users who are likely to have positive attitude towards the development of the software are identified and invited to do the test. Here the users act as a third party to perform the test and give their constructive feedbacks to the developer. And next is the acceptance testing. It is a system testing performed by the customer or set of the customers to determine whether they should accept the delivery of the system or not. If the requirement is matched to the customer's requirement or customer's given requirement specification, then the system is accepted. Otherwise, system is not accepted by the customers. So in the each type of testing, various kind of the test cases are designed by referring to the software requirement specification, that are SRS. Mostly these tests can be classified into functionality and performance test. So functionality test check whether the software meets or specifies the functional requirements as documented in the SRS document. And the next type is the performance testing. So performance test check whether the software meets the non-functional requirements of the system. All the performance tests can be considered as a black box test, and there are several types of performance testing. First is the stress or peak load testing, volume testing, configuration testing, compatibility testing, recovery testing, or documentation testing. First is the stress or peak load testing. It is also known as endurance testing. Stress testing evaluates system performance when it is stressed for abnormal resource demand. For example, if the non-functional requirement specifies states that the response time should not be more than 20 seconds per transaction, and when 50 concurrent users are working, then during stress testing the response time is checked with 50 concurrent users. Next is the volume testing. It is usually it is especially important to check whether the data structure, for example array, queues, stacks, etc., have been designed for extraordinary situations. For example, a compiler might be tested to check whether the symbols overflow when a very large program is compiled. Next is the configuration testing. It is used to analyze system behavior in a various hardware and software configuration specified in the non-functional requirements. Sometimes systems are built in variable configuration for different user. For example, if the system is designed to serve a single user and there is an extension configuration is serve additional user, then the system should be configured to in each of the required configuration and check if it behaves correctly in all required configurations. Next is the compatibility testing. It is required when the system interfaces for other type of systems and is done to check whether the interfaces perform well as required. For example, if the system needs to communicate with the database system to retrieve huge information, compatibility testing is required to test the speed of accuracy of data retrieval. Recovery testing. Basically, it is the performance testing that tests the response of the system when there is failure of power or failure of hardware. For example, the power may be shut down to check how the system recovers from data loss and corruption. And next is the and last is the documentation testing. So it is used to checking the whether the software documentation compiles with the system. Here the user manual, maintenance manual and technical manual are tested against the requirement. If the requirement specifies the types of users for whom a specific manual should be designed, then the manual should be checked by consistency. So the test cases should rerun. So the test cases should rerun every time after the system or its component has been corrected, made a bug free. That is called the regression testing. So in this lecture I will conclude. I am concluding my lecture at this moment. Thank you.